Today we're going to be reading the first 4 chapters of the second book of Samuel. Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came to pass on the 3rd day that, behold, a man came out of the camp of Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And it was so, when he came to David, that he fell to the earth, and did it. How you say the word? And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel, and I escaped. And David said unto him, How went the matter? I pray thee, tell me. And he answered, That the people are fled from the battle, and many people also are fallen and dead. And Samuel and Jonathan his son are dead also. And David said unto the young man that told him, How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, As I happened by chance upon Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him and saw me, he called unto me, and I answered, Here am I. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. He said unto me again, Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is yet come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood up and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and I brought them hither unto my lord. So Then David took hold on his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept, and fasted until even, for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against me, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. And David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jeshua, The beauty of Israel is slain upon thy high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath, publish it not in the streets, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. Ye mountains, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offerings, for there the shield of the mighty is wholly cast away, the shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil. From the blood of the slain, from the fight of the Almighty, from the bow of Jonathan turned not back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and in their death they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles, they were stronger than lions. Ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who cloth you in scarlet, who with other delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your appeal. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle! O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thine high places. I am distressed of thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perish. Chapter 2. And it came to pass after this, that David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go up into any of the cities of Judah? And the Lord said unto him, Go up. And David said, Whither shall I go up? And he said, Unto Hebron. So David went up thither, and his 2 wives also, and his men that were with him did David bring up, every man with his household, and they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. And the men of Judah came, and there anointed David king over the house of Judah. And they told David, saying that the men of, how do you say that name, were they that buried Saul. And David sent messengers unto the men, and said unto them, Blessed be ye of the Lord, that ye have shewed this kindness unto your Lord, even unto Saul, and have buried him. And now the Lord shew kindness and truth upon you, and I also will require you this kindness, because ye have done this thing. Therefore now let your hands be strengthened, and be ye valiant, for your master Saul is dead, and also the house of Judah have anointed me king over them. But Abner the son of Ner, captain of Saul's host, took Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim, and made him king over Gilead, and over the Ishurites, and over Jezreel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, and over all Israel. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign. When he began to reign over Israel, and reigned 2 years. But the house of Judah followed David. And the time that David was king in Hebron over the house of Judah was 7 years and 6 months. And Abner, the son of Ner, and the servants of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, went out from Mahanaim Hamnaim to Gibeon, and Joab, the son of, how do you say that name? And the servants of David went out and met together by the pool of Gibeon, and they sat down, the one on the one side of the pool, and the other on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, let the young men now rise and play before us. And Joab said, let them arise. Then there arose and went over by number 12 of Benjamin, which pertained in Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and 12 of the servants of David. And they caught every one his fellow by the head, and thrust his sword in his fellow's side, so they fell down together. Wherefore the place was called Helkath Hazurim, which is in Gibeon. And there was a very sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, and the men of Israel, before the servants of David. And there were 3 sons of Zeruiah, the Joab and Abishal, and how do you say that name? Was as light of foot as a wild roar. And he pursued after Abner, and in going he turned not to the right hand nor to the left from following Abner. Then Abner looked behind him and said, art thou as he? And he answered, I am. And Abner said to him, turn thee aside to thy right hand, or to thy left, and lay thee hold on one of the young men, and take thee his armor. But he would not turn aside from following him. And Abner said unto him, turn thee aside from following me. Wherefore should I smite thee to the ground? How then should I hold up my face to Joab thy brother? Howbeit he refused to turn aside. Wherefore Abner was with the hinder end of the spear, smote him under the 5th rib, that the spear came out behind him, and he fell down there and died in the same place. And it came to pass that as many as to the place where Ash. Good boy. That's nice. Good boy. Fell down and died, stood still. And Abner also and Abishai pursued after Abner, and the sun went down when they were come to the hill of Abiah, that lieth before Gibeah by the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. And the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together after Abner, and became one troop, and stood on the top of an hill. Then Abner called to Joab, and said, shall the sword devour forever? Knowest thou not that in it will be bitterness in the latter end? How long shall it be then? thou bid the people return from following their brethren. And Joab said, As the Lord liveth, unless thou hast spoken, surely then in the morning the people had gone up every one following his brother. So Joab blew a trumpet, and all the people stood still, and pursued after Israel no more, neither fought they any more. And Abner and his men walked all that night through the plain, and, and passed over Jordan, and went through unto Bithron, and they came to Mahanaim. And Joab turned from following Abner, and when he had gathered all the people together, there lacked of David's servants 19 men, and Asahel. But the servants of David had smitten of Benjamin and Abner's men, so that 360 men had died. And they took up Ashahel, and buried him in the sepulchre of his father, which was in Bethlehem. And Joab and his men went all night, and they came to Hebron at the break of day. Chapter 3. We've got two chapters left, chapter 3 and then chapter 4. Now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. And unto David were sons born in Hebron, and his firstborn was Amnon of Ahinoam the Jezreelite, and his second Chishleb of Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite, and the third Absalom, the son of Michal, the daughter of Tamal, king of Geshur, and the fourth, oh wow, these are hard names to pronounce, the son of Haggith, and the fifth, I don't know how you pronounce any of these names. I would read those names, but I'm not going to be able to pronounce any of them, so I'm going to skip to verse 6. And it said, and it came to pass, while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David, that Abner himself made strong for the house of Saul. And David had a concubine, whose name was Rizpah, the daughter of Abha. And Ishbosheth said to Abner, Wherefore hast thou gone in unto my father's concubine? Then was Abner very wroth for the words of Ishbosheth, and said, I am a dog's head, which against Judah do show kindness this day unto the house of Saul thy father, to his brethren and to his friends. And have not delivered thee into the hand of David, that thou chargest me today with a fault concerning this woman. So do God to Abner, and more also, except the Lord hath sworn to David, even so am I to him. Even so I do to him, to translate the kingdom of the house of Saul, and to set up the throne of David over Israel, and David Judah, from Dan even Bathsheba, and he could not answer Abner a word again because he feared him. And Abner sent messengers to David on his behalf, saying, Whose is the land? Saying also, Make thy league with me, and behold, my hand shall be with thee to bring about all Israel unto thee. And he said, Well, I make a league with thee, but one thing I require of thee, that is, thou shalt not see my face, except thou first bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when thou comest to see my face. And David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, Deliver me my wife Michal, which I exposed to me 100 fourscore skins of the Philistines. And Ishbosheth sent and took her for husband, even from Paltiel, the son of Laish. And her husband went with her along, weeping behind her to Bahurim. And Abner said unto him, Go, return. And he returned. And Abner had communication with the elders of Israel, saying, Ye sought for David in times past to be king over you. Now then do it, for the Lord hath spoken of David, saying, By the hand of my servant David I will save my people Israel out of the hand of the Philistines, and out of the hand of all their enemies. And Abner also spake in the ears of Benjamin, and Abner went also to speak in the ears of David in Hebron, and all that seemed good to Israel, and that seemed good to the whole house of Benjamin. So Abner came to David to Hebron, and 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. And Abner said unto David, I will arise and go, and will gather all Israel unto the Lord, unto my lord the king, that they may make a league with thee, and that thou mayst reign over all that thine heart desireth. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop, and brought in a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he was gone in peace. When Joab and all the host that was with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king, and hath sent him away, and is gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, What hast thou done? Behold, Abner came unto me. Why is it that thou hast sent him away, and he is quite gone? Thou knowest Abner the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and to know thou going in and thy coming in. Wait, no mind, I'll say that back to front. Thou going out and thy coming in, and to all that thou doest. And when Joab was come out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which is brought unto him again from the well of Assyria, but David knew it not. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there unto the fifth rib. I wonder what is the fifth rib again, because it was the fifth rib before. Anyway, that he died for the blood of Asahel his brother. And afterward, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before the Lord forever from the blood of Abner, the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Abner, and on all the father's house, and let there not fall from the house of Joab one that hath an issue, or that was a leper, or that leaneth on a staff, or that falleth on the sword, or that lacketh bread. Say Joab and Abishai his brother slew Abner, because he had slain his brother at Gilboa in a battle. So David said to Joab and to all the people that were with him, rent your clothes, and gird ye with sackcloth, and mourn before Abner. And King David himself followed the bier. And they buried Abner in Hebron, and the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner. And all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner, and said, Died Abner as a fool dieth? Thy hands were not bound, nor thy feet put in fetters. As a man falleth before the wicked, so fallest thou. And all that the people wept again over him. And when the people came to cause David to eat meat while it was yet day, David sware, saying, So do God to me, and more also, if I taste bread or aught else till the sun be down. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them, and whatsoever the king did pleased all the people. For the people and all Israel understood that day that it was not of the king to slay Abner, the son of Ner. And the king said unto his servants, Know ye not that there is a fallen prince, and a great man fallen this day in Israel? I am this day weak, through anointed king, and these men the sons of, how do you say that, be too hard for me. Let the Lord shall reward the doer of evil according to his wickedness. Chapter 4. And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, his hands were feeble, and all the Israelites were troubled. And Saul's son had 2 men that were captains of bands, and the name of the one was Bahaneth, the son of, and the name of the other was Rechab, the sons of Rimeon, a Bethelite, of the children of Benjamin. For Beoth also was reckoned to Benjamin. And the Beeronites fled to Git-Tarim, and were sojourners there unto this day. And Jonathan Saul's son had a son that was lame on his feet, and he was and he was 5 years old when the tidings came of Saul and Jonathan out of Jezreel. And the nurse took him up and fled, and it came to pass, as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame. And his name was Mephibosheth. And the sons of Remian, the Bethelite, Rechab and Bahamnath went, and came about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth. He lay on a bed at noon. And they came hither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat, and they smote him in the fifth rib. It's the same rib again, I don't get it. And Rechab and Bahanath, his son, escaped. His brother, escaped. For when they came into the house, he lay on his bed in his bedchamber, and they smote him and slew him, and beheaded him, and took his head, and had them away through the plain all night. And they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Hebron, unto the king. Behold, the head of Ishbosheth the son of Saul thine enemy, which brought thy life, which sought thy life, and the Lord hath avenged my lord the king this day of Saul, and of his seed. And David answered Rechab of Rimmon the Bethelite, and said unto them, As the Lord liveth, who hast redeemed my soul out of all adversary. When one told me, saying, Behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings, I told of him and slew him in Ziklag, who though that I would thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings. How much more than wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand, and take you away from the earth? And David commanded his young men, and they slew him, and cut off their hands and their feet, and hanged them over the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Hebron. Oh, that was a lot.